you idiot? The Hawaiian vacation's still up there. Oh, don't waste your money on a vowel. It's a one-word answer. Will you get with the program? Oh, gosh. Maybe we do need me on the show. I mean, look, Pat Sajak can hardly keep his eyes open.
Here is a special news item update.
I can't believe this. Don't interrupt my program this way.
Holds 2 people hostage
You know,
at the palatial
this
home
never
of
happens on the 500th
The
repeat of
hostages
Bonanza.
have been identified as millionaire industrialist СиСи Capwell and his ex-wife, socialite Pamela Conrad. Join our crew now on the scene.
I heard a shot. Where the hell is Meyson? What's going on? Let's find out.
Hey, Mom, you can't go down there. It's too dangerous.
Well, we can go talk to Cruz and find out what's going on down there.
It's only going to get in the way. Now, I'm sure Cruz's thing has got the complete energy.
СиСи!
Dad! Dad, can you hear me? Scott, that's such a job, man. Give me that. My father could be dying in there. Fill it in, man. Just give us some room here. Give me a shoulder, will you? I told you to keep everybody out of here. No way! Lay down the gun. Behind your back. No! You okay, Meyson? I'm fine. Meyson, all right? Meyson. Put your arm down.
Why didn't you finish me while you had a chance?
That should do it. You were pretty lucky. It's just a flesh wound.
That's a small comfort when it's your own flesh.
Yeah, I know. But it shouldn't take that long to heal. The bullet didn't hit any arteries, and there was no indication of any nerve damage.
Only my wounded pride. Well, I'm grateful to you. I suppose if one is going to find oneself in a shootout, it helps to have a physician on the scene. Question is, are you all right?
I'll be fine. But I guess I owe you and your family an apology for what happened tonight.
Oh, like you knew it was going to happen, huh? Scott, your father was obviously not a well man.
And I'm a doctor. I'm trained to identify and treat illness. No, either I didn't see it coming or I chose not to.
I think it's safe to assume that your father's been under a great deal of strain with this Hal Clark business, and so I would imagine, have you? I think maybe your father figured his frontier version of justice was his only recourse. If we're talking about shouldering responsibility here, my parents have a lot to answer for.
But it's still true, isn't it? The sins of the father?
I've visited on the son. I've never thought that was a very equitable arrangement. Have you?
I'll make sure you get a new shirt.
Well, that's fine, but I'd sort of like to keep this one.
Why?
Well, maybe you wouldn't understand because you're a doctor and you save lives every day, but it's not often that I get to feel like a hero. Let's just call this my red badge of courage.
Oh, Julia, darling. Where's Meyson?
He's in with the doctor.
Oh, God, what an absolutely horrible nightmare this whole night has been. I mean, it's bad enough to be held hostage by that stark-raving lunatic and then to see my own son just shot.
Will you knock it off? Please, spare me your theatrics. I'm not a very appreciative audience, and I will be damned if you are going to act your way out of this one.
How can you stand there and accuse me of any such thing when my own son almost got himself killed tonight?
Now, that is an interesting choice of words. He got himself killed? If it weren't for you, none of this would have happened. You are just as guilty as the poor man who pulled the trigger.
How dare you? How dare you accuse me of ever trying to do anything to hurt either of my two sons?
It's really all you've ever done, isn't it? Ever since you came back into town. You think you could just waltz in and out of your children's lives anytime you feel like it, and then you lay claim to these deep-seated family feelings when you don't give a damn whose lives you ruin? You just stay the hell away from me, and you stay away from Meyson. You little... Don't even think about it.
Julia, Mason's asking for you.
How is he?
His wounds are minor, so it shouldn't give him any trouble.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you do that, Mrs. Conrad. And while you're at it, why don't you ask him what kind of system it is that jails the innocent and lets you walk free on the streets?
Dr. McLaughlin, Dr.
You can see your son now.
She was just leaving. I will not be treated this way. And you are never going to get my son either.
But I'm going over to see Meyson. You, I cannot thank enough for the way you handled everything tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, but I think maybe Meyson is the one who needs to hear that, Mr. C.
I think you both were incredible.
Well, Meyson took the big risk. I mean, he went down there, didn't have a gun even, you know. That took some guts. Took some stupidity, too. In fact, remind me to yell at him when we get to the hospital.
Yeah, don't you dare yell at him. I agree with Eden. I think all the men in his family were absolutely wonderful. My blood ran cold when I heard that shot. I was terrified that something happened to you.
Never have. I mean, who'd be left around to drive you crazy?
This is true.
I don't know whether to hug you or hit you.
Oh, hugs. Definitely hugs. Kisses are good, too. If this is the treatment I can expect, I'll put my life on the line more often.
Don't you dare. Your swashbuckling days are over, bucko. I don't look good in black, and I don't want to be a widow before my wedding.
No, I think how romantic it would be to tell Samantha that her father died a hero.
Well, you can tell her yourself, and when she's old enough to understand, I'm sure you will have embellished the story to the point of you being the contemporary of Dirty Harry. Damn you.
It's all right. It's over. Not in any pain.
You have no right to look this good after what you've done.
Well, you ran me a close second. I owe you an apology for what I put you through tonight. And I owe you one for not being honest with you about my drinking. I think maybe you're right. I think maybe I have a problem with it.
What made you change your mind?
Oh, I've been sitting here kind of reviewing my life. And I went back a few years and didn't really like what I saw. All the years of excuses and alibis. See, I had managed to convince myself with the generous help of old John Barleycorn that I was some sort of tragically flawed romantic figure who could only find solace in a whiskey bottle. What I was and am, actually, is just sort of an upscale drunk.
Meyson.
No, it's true, Julia. You were actually right all along. Funny thing is, I thought all along I was actually putting on a pretty good show, but it was all just sort of a convenient way to not take responsibility for my drinking. Do you understand?
Why?
Why? I don't know why, Julia. I honestly don't. Maybe it's because I just didn't want to take too close a look at myself, because I was afraid I wouldn't like what I saw.
Do you realize what you did tonight?
Yeah, believe it or not, I did. My head sort of cleared up when I realized that I could either do the responsible thing and try to help my father, or I could just sit back and have another drink and see what happened. I think for once in my life, I did the honorable thing.
You know something? I don't care how you did it. I'm glad that you're dead. And I am so proud of you tonight.
Oh. Well, behold the dragon in the doorway. What is it, Mother?
I just wanted to thank you for saving my life.
Well, you can dispense with the gratitude. I didn't do it for you.
Mrs. Conrad,
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Conrad, wait.
I'm sorry. I really can't.
Let her go. She doesn't deserve your sympathy.
I just feel so sorry for her. She's been through such an ordeal.
She happens to be a killer. Look, I know that doesn't excuse my father for what he did. Do you know what your problem is, Dr. Donnelly?
Do I have a problem, Dr. Clark?
You care too much.
I'm glad I never seen that as a problem.
I'm not criticizing you. You were pretty incredible tonight. The way you talked to my father. I mean, you were the only voice of sanity in that whole madhouse.
Well, I just put myself in his place. You know, he's had to deal with so much pain for so long, I guess he felt he had no place else to turn. You know, Scott, in a way, he's just another victim like your uncle.
I want to go visit him at the jail, but I don't think I can handle it.
Oh, you should, Scott. He needs you now.
Yeah, I know he does.
If you want, I'll go with you. Do what I can.
I can't ask you to do that.
Come on. Talk about it on the way.
Dr. Kiger, contact obstetrics. Dr. Kiger, contact obstetrics.
Can't imagine what it would be like having someone hold a gun to your head, not knowing if it's the last thing you're ever going to see.
Well, I had to get through it somehow. I tell you something, if it wasn't for Meyson, I mean, he really came through for me. Sophia, you should have seen him. He really came through.
Well, maybe there's something good that came out of this whole nightmare. Maybe you and Meyson can have a fresh start.
Maybe. Come on, would you like to go to the hospital with me?
No, I don't think so. I think the two of you should be alone. I'll talk to you later.
You can count on that.
СиСи? Nothing. I'm glad you're okay.
Seems like old times.
Hmm?
You and Daddy.
You never give up, do you?
No, I don't. Not when it comes to the two people I love more than anybody else in the world except Cruz. Do you think you and Daddy will get back together?
I don't want you to count too much on this. You've got to remember what happened at Pebble Creek.
Mama, I saw something between you two tonight.
I know, Eden, but it's not that simple. I mean, when I thought about your father down there and I thought he might be injured. The fact is that there are some very real reasons why our marriage broke up, and I can't forget those.
Why not? Now, I'm not saying you two should forget your problems, but maybe you could get back together and work them out.
Maybe. Someday. Right now, I'm not ready.
We gotta talk.
Well, it's a cute sports coat. I was expecting you.
Is that right?
Yeah, you know, I thought it was just a matter of time before you swung down to thank me for the instrumental role I played in rescuing the Capello clan yet one more time. It's magnificent, wasn't I? I mean, the press is going to eat this up.
Magnificent as always. I mean, lives hanging in the balance while Wyatt Earp here flashes his big tin badge. Oh, Meyson wounded as a result of your refusal to negotiate with a man who was desperate to make a deal.
Oh, hey, don't blame me because that demented dope went south on us. If you want to pin it on somebody, pin it on Meyson Capello. I mean, if Meyson had interfered...
Yeah, Meyson had interfered, Keith. There would be 2 people dead right now.
Everything's all right. So where's the beef?
Yeah, no beef. I mean, I don't mean to keep harping on this, pal, but, you know, they are my family.
Why?
And I have warned you about this before. I guess it doesn't matter. I can say it one more time. You stay away from the Capwells. Now, if I find out that you've even looked cross-eyed in their direction, you're gonna find yourself the only inhabitant of a desert island somewhere.
You want me to teach you how to tie one of these, or are you finished?
No. Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it. What'd you do now?
Who's in here?
It's me.
I didn't expect to see you tonight.
Or tomorrow either, huh?
Well, we might as well get right down to this. You stole $5,000 from me or my company. It's essentially the same thing. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
No, I wouldn't. I prefer to call it a loan.
Loan? A loan is an agreement between two parties. In this case, I wasn't consulted.
Well, Sophia, I needed it for the club.
It's irrelevant why you needed the money.
No, it's not. If you just listen to me, all right? I couldn't make the payroll. I almost lost the club.
Then why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you ask me? I would have wanted to give it to you.
And do what? And prove the definition everybody's laid on to me up to now? That I'm after you for your money?
Are you saying there's more honor in being a thief?
Sophia, I intended on paying you back, all right? I mean, you look back on it now, it's easy. It seems like a stupid mistake. At the time, it was a chance I had to take.
So what am I then? What does that make me? Just another one of your hustles? I really thought you cared more for me than that, TJ. Actually, I thought you had more respect for yourself.
The whole thing is so crazy. I mean, I can't even explain it, all right? One moment I see you and СиСи back together again. I mean, I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm on the outside looking in.
Oh, well, then it's my fault.
No, I'm not saying it's your fault. I mean, I saw a quick deal that I could get in on, right? So I took a risk. I jumped on it. It was a gamble, and I lost.
Was it worth it, TJ?
No, it wasn't worth it. Because now I'm back to where I started from. And I risked losing you. And nothing is worth that. I mean, I swear I'd never do it again.
No, you wouldn't.
Look, Sophia, I want to pay you back.
How do you expect to do that?
It's going to take a while.
Yeah. And what happened to the $5,000, TJ? Was that just lost on another bad bet?
I lost a piece of the air, but it's no big deal.
Hey, forget. Wait. Hey, please. Don't trouble yourself anymore. Now, I don't know how much you need, and I don't want to know. You can just fill it in.
I don't get it.
Well, it's very simple. I would rather give you the money myself than have it stolen from me.
It's cold. Aren't you supposed to use steak for this?
It's only in black eyes. Besides, have you checked out the price of sirloin lately?
Well, thank you, Florence Nightingale.
Hey, you're lucky I'm here at all. The only reason I came over was to watch Wheel of Fortune on your TV. The one at home was broken. You know, the more I watch that show, the more I...
Shut up about game shows? Can we talk about my night?
Oh, that. You know, they interrupted my program and they gave us...
How did I look?
Well, it's true what they say. You know, TV does put 10 pounds on a person, and I think that we should both lose 10 pounds before we go on Wheel of Fortune, so we'll look really good.
Can we change the subject? I know I'm going to regret this later on, but I'd like to pick what's left of your brain about the Meyson Capwell case.
Oh, Keith. Don't tell me you're still trying to pin Mark McCormick's murder on
What? What? Pin? Come on. This sucker's been laid in my lap by some mysterious stone. I mean, look what we got here. We got traffic ticket for driving under the influence of alcohol, 2. And a gun. Registered to 3 guesses minus 2. You got it. Meyson Cap.
So what? A lot of people own guns.
Hello? Who's this? This is a district attorney. Keith Timmons. I got a job for you. I want to get the ballistics and forensics to cross-check a weapon I have against the bullet hole in the McCormick skull. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 weeks from today would be just wonderful. No, you idiot! I want it now! This is a murder weapon! We're back in business, my little lamb chop.
Oh, Keith, I've heard this a million times before. Look, there's no way you can convince me that Meyson is capable of cold-blooded murder.
Well, that's a very warm-blooded response. Perhaps you have more than platonic feelings for your ex-lover boy.
It has nothing to do with that. Meyson and I are ancient history. It's just that I've learned my lesson. I'm going to earn my money the good old-fashioned way.
Walking the streets?
On a game show. Now, let's practice. You can pretend you're Pat Sajak.
I'd rather play with Vanna.
Keith.
All right. Okay, I'll play with you later. But right now, I have my own little whodunit to go after here. And, a mysterious friend who wants to nail Mason Capwell almost as much as I do.
If I ever go to jail again, it'll be because of him. I'll choke him. I'll choke him. How's Meyson doing, anyway?
He's doing remarkably well. I've heard him tell 3 different nurses his account of what happened, and it turns out that the story gets bigger every time he tells it. Not that I want to diminish his moment of glory.
Do you think we mere mortals can get an audience?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose so. However, СиСи is in there with him. I also wanted to tell you that I went downstairs and I checked on Chip. He's smiling, he's laughing, and he should be able to go home in 2 days.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Well, listen, while Daddy's in with Meyson, why don't you go down and see him?
Oh, I'm sure he's sleeping right now. I'll do it some other time.
Oh, no. I know you'd like to spend some time with your son. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to go for a minute or two if you would come along.
Oh, no, I would really be in the way. Steve.
Come on. You remember like my Uncle Baca said? He said, you and me, kid, together forever. Remember?
I think you better go with him. I think he's coming down with something. High fever. Uncle Baca. Have you heard of Uncle Baca?
What are you talking about? That was poetry.
It was good, Cruz. It was really good.
I don't remember much of the last 5 minutes of it. I was so petrified. I hardly felt the bullet when it hit.
You're very lucky. And I owe you my life. You know, somehow I feel like we have come full circle, you know?
I think I know what you mean. But if I'm to be brutally honest, Dad, I didn't do it all for you. I think it was partly to salvage what was left of my self-esteem.
You have every right to feel proud. And I feel very grateful. And very touched. Yeah, you and I have not seen eye to eye for a very long time, but I can't think of a greater demonstration of the strength of the bond between father and son than what you did for me tonight. You're a very fine man. And I'm very proud of you. And I love you.
I think for the first time in my life, I may be at a loss for words. I may just have waited my entire life to hear you say something like that, you know. I love you too.
Why don't you take it?
I can't.
You can't? Why not? You've earned it. Just fill in the amount. We'll mark it paid in full. Your account is closed.
Look, Sophia, I've tried to explain to you...
Explain what? Explain what? That how I'm just another easy mark, another patsy?
You know it's not like that.
Well, listen. I can't blame you, actually. Because I walked into this one with my eyes wide open. I really trusted you, and of course, why shouldn't I? I mean, you were always there for me. Always. My life was falling apart, and you were right there to pick up the pieces. And I actually really believed that, that you cared about me.
Sophia, I do.
Oh, please. Oh, please, you know, that's the part of the lie that hurts so much. Now, no one likes to be made a fool, and I feel right now that I'm probably the biggest fool in the whole world. You see, you was the only thing in my life that I counted on. You were the one person that I thought really understood me, and I trusted you. Well, we all make mistakes, don't we?
You've blown this whole thing out of proportion. I mean, I didn't want to take advantage of you. When I was with Kelly in Wyoming...
Don't you... You leave my family out of this. You stay away from Kelly, and you get the hell away from me.
You can't mean that.
It's over, TJ. You take your marbles and go home.
Oh, just like that, huh?
Yeah, just like that, just like that.
Look, I'm not some one-night stand with you, okay? You don't get over me that easy. You and me meant something to each other.
I think that my money probably meant a lot to
I'm
you.
not talking about your damn money. I'm talking about you and me. Yeah, I made a mistake, okay? I admit it. I didn't want to hurt you. Why can't you believe that?
I believe you're real sorry that you got caught. Now, I just think that we should make this as easy as we can, and after tonight, I don't want to see you anymore.
You can't believe that.
Yeah, I can mean it, and I mean that I'm going to go on with my life, but I'm going to go on without you. So right now, here you go. I'd like you to leave.
Okay, I'll go. But I'm not giving up on you and me, okay? I want to come back for you, Sophia.
Maybe we could get your father transferred to a hospital facility.
You ever been to one of those places? I have. I did one of my rotations there. Believe me, he's better off here.
Do you know what you're going to say to him?
I don't have any idea. Dad, are they treating you all right? Have you called a lawyer?
How am I supposed to afford one of them high-priced ambulance chasers? Whoever the court assigns me, that's fine with me. Spend the rest of my days in here for nothing. Why do I have to pay for the privilege?
What happened tonight, Dad? Can you tell me?
What happened? They beat me, kid. They beat me. I saw this scene in a movie one time. I know I did. The big guys up on the hill with the fat bellies and the long cigars, the crooked lawyer, the system. That's what beat me, kid. All my life, they don't give a damn about guys like me and my brother. And why the hell should they? Hal's better off where he is.
Why didn't you come to me? We could have talked. There had to be something that we could have done.
What are you, some kind of comedian? I come to you. I'm the father, remember? When the hell did you ever come to me? And what are you doing here, anyway? Make sure they threw the key away so that I don't get him out and embarrass you again? But you just come to tell me you're changing your name.
Why are you doing this? Do you have any idea what I went through tonight? Do you think I enjoy seeing you locked up like this?
And what the hell is on the outside for me now? Come on, get out of here, kid. Your conscience is clear. You did your duty.
That's not why I came here. I want to help you. I want to get you out of here.
What for? That's what I thought. God, get me out of here!
You know, it's amazing, but I'm scared.
What, of a 1-year-old? You can handle me, you can handle a toddler.
Yeah, I suppose I'll get used to this after a while. It's just, Will you?
Oh, no, will you stop? Why don't you just go in there?
Aren't you gonna come in?
Actually, I think you have some catching up to do. I'll wait here.
Okay, well, I'll just be a second. Thanks. Hi, buddy. Hi, Chippy. You remember me, pal? I'm your dad.
I'm your dad.
I know, it's strange. I know how you feel, buddy. Just wanted to let you know that we were worried about losing you, buddy. Sure would have been a shame if we had have, because I got big plans for you and me. I'm gonna get you out of here and get your strength back and get you well and everything. Yeah, let me show you something. What are you, a lefty or a righty? Hold that there. I'll have to ask your mama, I guess. See, I'm gonna buy you a baseball mitt, and me and you are gonna go out to the baseball field, and we're gonna throw that old ball around. We're gonna learn how to keep your butt down on those grounders. Okay? You like the Dodgers? I'm gonna take you down to L.A. See Fernando. You just get well. 'Cause I got a lot of plans for the two of us.
Scott, your father didn't mean any of the things he said. He was just letting off a little steam. You know, you can't really blame him.
I don't blame him. I blame myself. Everything he said was true. I am ashamed of where I came from.
A lot of people are ashamed of what...
No. It's more than that. I've been living with this practically my whole life. Ever since I was a kid and old enough to know that I didn't live like everybody else. It's a real boring story. The poor, tough kid who never got an even break.
That was a long time ago, Scott. You've come a long way since then.
Yeah, well, why did you ask me how I got here? I'm not particularly proud of it. When I was a little kid, back in grammar school, the class held this canned goods drive for the needy. Now, the school bell rang and everybody went home. The teacher asked me to stay there. She handed me this big bag of food. She patted me on the head and said, "I hope this helps a little." I took that bag of food and I threw it in the nearest vacant lot on the way home. There was no way that I was going to be able to bring that food home to my father.
Did you ever tell him that?
No. Are you kidding? We got great at pretending with each other. He pretended that he didn't see the third-rate hand-me-downs that I always wore, and I pretended that I never heard him walking the floor at night. Some nights he'd be crying, and I'd be upstairs with the pillow wrapped so tight around my head. And I'd be crying, too.
Yeah, but you got through it.
Oh, yeah, I got through it. You want to know how? I lied to my friends. I told them that I had no family. I never went to visit him, Heather. Not once. Maybe a phone call on his birthday, but that was about it. But I never stopped thinking about him, Heather. Or loving him. Because as fast and as hard as I tried to run away from it, I knew that I was nothing without him.
Why didn't you tell him that just now?
I couldn't do it.
It'll take some time, but you'll be able to.
Seven-letter word standing for illegitimate, starting with B.
Mason Capwell.
That doesn't start with B.
He had a motive. He had an obsessive hatred for Mark, who killed his beloved Mary.
How are you at Westerns?
Also, I mean, the guy had no dearth of opportunities. He was probably drunk as a skunk on the night in question.
Okay, 14 letters. It's the title of a movie starring Gary Cooper.
If we get forensics to match that gun to the entry point, I'll see Mason hanging from a tree.
The hanging tree. That's it. You are so good at
What are
this.
you blithering about?
You gave me the answer to my puzzle. Thanks.
Yo.
You're kidding me. Are you sure? Listen, you got a raise. How much do you make? Forget the raise. Do you know the guy in forensics makes more money than I do?
The night manager at the burger place down the street makes more than you do. So what'd he say about the gun?
Looks like we got the murder weapon. What say you and me make a little call on murder?
Well, I know you were there, but you could at least pretend to be interested in my tales of heroism.
Meyson, I'm sorry. My mind was down the hall.
So what's down the hall?
Cruz went to go visit Chip. And I was standing there, and I was watching him, and he picked Chip up for the very first time, knowing that he was the father. You know, and I kept telling myself I wasn't going to feel threatened, but I do. And I guess I really saw a special part of him when he held Chip that I really kind of wanted to see when we had our child.
Well, you afraid he'll love that child any less because he's already got one?
No. Look, I know it's illogical. It's just this whole story, you know, this romantic story I had conjured up in my mind about how things would be. And now that Chip is here, it seems that everything's changed.
Well, why don't you try thinking of it in another way? Our sister just lost a child that she had already grown fond of, and by a twist of fate, Cruz has gained one, and so have you, by association. I think you should give Cruz a chance. He's got more than enough room in his heart for the two of you.
Guess I'm just not used to sharing him.
Yeah, well, you better get used to it. Because in no time at all, there are going to be a lot of little baby Castillos running around.
No.
You won't have time to worry about sharing him.
Meyson, you're the best.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Pardon me. Caught us. I caught you. Is he boring you with his stories of the walking wounded?
I've been regaling her with tales of domestic bliss.
Well, you're going to have to get a rain check because he's being sprung from... Is sprung a word? Yeah, he's sprung from this place. You're out of here. Well, it's a good thing, you know, because his head is getting much too big for this pillow. I believe that. I love you. Thank you.
I love you, too.
And goodbye.
Where did you disappear to? I came out of Chip's room and you were gone.
Oh, I just thought you needed some time alone together.
I guess you and I need some time alone together, huh?
Orderly with a wheelchair behind the door.
Penny for your thoughts.
Oh, I was just thinking about everything. You and me.
So what, married life doesn't agree with you?
Oh, no. Agrees with me. In fact, it's the only thing that's been making me happy lately. It's just that I thought that our life would slow down and we would maybe, I don't know, live our life like normal, ordinary people.
Well, who wants to live a life like a normal, ordinary person?
I do.
Are you really unhappy?
No. I'm just tired of life lately. It's like there's always something. Something to come up and test us, see what's going to happen, if we're going to fall apart.
How are we going to fall apart after the due? We paid dues, you know. You pay your dues, you're supposed to arrive at a certain point in time. We've been through the kind of stuff people only dream about.
Aren't you afraid it's not going to last?
Oh. Let me put it this way. The ocean should run out of water. The sky should run out of blue. Ere I run out of you or on you, you gotta make this a full-time. You can't write poetry if you don't concentrate. No, seriously, baby. It's okay to be afraid once in a while, I guess, but only if you understand that you will not be allowed to do it by yourself. I tricked you into marrying me fair and square, Eden.
Yeah, you did.
I did, and now that I got you, you can put it in the bank. I'm never gonna let you get away.
Hello. You know, even CEOs go home sometimes.
Hey, I thought you were at the hospital.
I was. Mason sends his love.
Oh,
Doing great.
Good, I'm glad.
And what are you doing here so late? I mean, after the day you had.
Paperwork, you know how it is.
Yeah. That embezzlement thing, that problem, is that still going on, or what?
No, it's all taken care of. Actually, I found out that it was a mistake.
Oh. Well, why don't you pack up your briefcase and I'll escort you home.
Thanks, I have to go over to Kelly's.
This hour?
Yes. Listen, I couldn't talk to you before.
What?
Kelly lost the baby.
Oh, my God. She all right?
She's fine, physically, but she and Jeffrey are devastated.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got it.
Okay,
Is that all right?
Oh, well, if it isn't the man of the minute from Dumbo.
Visiting hours are over, Timmons.
This won't take long. Do you know what this is?
It's a gun. Is this a stick-up?
Oh. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Yes, it is a gun. Do you know whose it is?
I don't feel like playing 20 questions with you, Timmons. Why don't you come back tomorrow when I'm not here?
I admire that about you. Humor in the face of adversity. It just so happens this gun was bought and registered in the name of Mason Capwell.
Check again. That's not my gun.
I just thought you ought to be the first to know. Good night.
Now, wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute, Timmons. You can't just come waltzing in there, wave a gun around, and then leave. What's going on?
Well, I'm not at liberty to say anything more.
What are you doing here, Gina?
They travel in packs, like hyenas.
You know, I don't think that's wise for a deputy district attorney to say that about her boss and his fiancée. Oh, speaking of work, by the way, you're now officially off the Mark McCormick murder case.
What? Why?
Well, you know, I think it's sort of a conflict of interest, so, see you guys.
Toodles.